When you're a superstar in the WWE, your look is almost as important as your ability to wrestle, and the stars on our list all had some pretty iconic appearances during their primes. However, once WWE stars leave the ring for good, they often, for better or for worse, start to look very different. For this list, we're taking a look at 10 wrestlers who look nothing like they did at their peak. Enjoy the video and be sure to let us know which one of these stories was your favorite. Once you're done watching, make sure you subscribe to the Sportster and join the notification squad. Stacey Keibler. Although Stacey Keibler is only in her mid-30s, her wrestling days are long behind her, as she's already been retired from the WWE for almost a decade. But even though Keibler is a retired athlete, she seems to actually be getting hotter with age. She won the WWE Babe of the Year award back in 2004, and she looks so much better these days, and that's after she's become a mother. Keibler's devotion to fitness is impressive, and it's definitely paying off, as she's currently sporting sexier abs than when she was in the ring. If you were a guy who was crushing on Stacey Keibler during her wrestling career, we can only imagine how you feel about her these days. The Undertaker. Ever since 1984, when he debuted as Texas Red, Mark Calloway, or as most people know him, The Undertaker, has been one of the most iconic wrestlers the WWE has to offer. Fans may be surprised, however, at just how much the superstar's look has changed over the years. In college, he was actually much slimmer and had ginger hair, and in the early years of his pro wrestling career, he was super jacked and was also sporting a deathly look. Fast forward to today, and The Undertaker is starting to show his age as his muscles have become much less defined and his skin is beginning to wrinkle. He has been a staple of the WWE for decades now, and even though his looks are fading, it seems like he's keen to keep going strong. CM Punk. When CM Punk was fighting in the WWE, he made it very clear that he didn't actually like working out, and his average Joe physique ended up being a pretty big problem when he had to face off against the likes of John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Still, Punk was able to achieve quite a bit of success in the WWE, but when he decided to jump ship over to the UFC, he had no choice but to get ripped. CM Punk showed up to the weigh-in looking noticeably leaner and more muscular than he was in the WWE, but unfortunately, his efforts in the gym couldn't help him from losing his debut match in just over 2 minutes. Regardless of the result, we have to hope that CM Punk is at least happy with his new ripped physique. Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is yet another case of a WWE diva who's actually gotten hotter with age, which is crazy because she was pretty damn sexy during her days in the ring. Stratus claims that her remarkable aging is mostly due to her commitment to yoga, and the former wrestler has actually opened up her own yoga studio in Toronto called Stratosphere. Trish has been able to maintain her famous curves while also developing some seriously toned abs. If Trish Stratus is a good example of what yoga will do to your aging body, then you can sign us up for her next class. Alundra Blaze. WWE diva and Hall of Famer Deborah Miceli is probably better known to wrestling fans as Alundra Blaze, or even Medusa. In the 80s and 90s, she was one of the most popular and memorable women in wrestling, winning lots of titles. But these days, she is almost unrecognizable. Alundra Blaze was known more for her wrestling skills than her looks, but there's no denying that she wasn't half bad to look at in those diva outfits. Unfortunately for her, her looks have seriously faded off in recent years, and she definitely looks much older than her age. Miceli has been retired for quite a while now, so we can't blame her too much for letting herself go, but it's still shocking to see such a drastic physical change. Triple H. Back in the early 2000s, Triple H began to pack on some serious pounds, and it looked like the aging superstar was destined to join the list of former wrestlers who now look terrible. Something must have clicked for Triple H though, because he totally reverted that trend and now looks better than ever. The star is now in his late 40s and he is arguably in the best shape of his life, and apparently can put up some outrageously big numbers at the gym. We aren't sure what exactly prompted Triple H to turn himself into the picture of fitness that he is today, but we have to think that having Vince McMahon as a father-in-law has definitely had an effect over the WWE legend. Missy Hyde. Missy Hyde has been very famous in the world of female wrestling for over 30 years now. Missy was an excellent wrestler who achieved a lot of success in her prime, and she looked absolutely stunning doing it. Unfortunately, like so many other aging divas, she has not aged well at all, and she's a great example of what happens when you get far too much plastic surgery too quickly. Her look is very unnatural these days, and she definitely doesn't have any of the sheer sex appeal that she had back in her prime. On top of this physical decay, Hyde has also found herself getting in trouble with the law in recent years, which is definitely not a good look on anyone. The Rock. Dwayne Johnson's goal was always to become a wrestler like his father, Rocky Johnson, but we think it's safe to say that his career definitely surpassed that of his dad's. The Rock achieved incredible success, and that's probably mainly because he's built like a Greek god. That being said, Johnson's physique and overall look has definitely fluctuated over years. During his prime in the WWE, Johnson was rocking a more lean body, but if you take a look at him these days in movies like Baywatch, The Rock is looking absolutely enormous. Hollywood and the WWE may have turned The Rock into one of the biggest stars in the world, but he'll always be the goofy kid from the fanny pack photo to us. Terri Runnes. Terri Runnes is another classic horror story of a WWE diva getting way too much surgery done and having it backfire to make the person look much worse than they did before. The diva used to be legitimately stunning and was the adoration of wrestling fans worldwide, but these days she's looking pretty dreadful. Runnes is now in her 50s, so it makes sense that she has aged quite a bit. The problem is that she has aged in some very unnatural and unattractive ways. Seeing Terri Runnes look the way she does these days really is a shame, as there was a time when she was one of the most beautiful women in the world of sports. Jillian Hall. In the early 2000s, Jillian Hall was the picture-perfect image of a WWE diva. She was a blonde bombshell with a curvaceous body that all the boys adored, and she was even awarded the honor of Divas Champ before leaving the WWE in 2010. Unfortunately, all of her parts that the boys loved so much weren't so natural, and all of the plastic surgery that Jillian Hall had isn't looking too good these days. She's still young and she still looks okay, but she is definitely looking older than her age, and we're guessing that things will just continue to go downhill in the coming years. It's sad to see such an icon of beauty begin to slip so young and start to look nothing like she did at her peak. So there you have it. There is our list of 10 wrestlers who look nothing like they did at their peak. Which one of these entries shocked you the most? What other wrestler body transformations do you know about? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below, and be sure to subscribe to The Sportster for more awesome videos.